Today in Engineering Newswire, we're reaching 290 miles per hour with the Hennessy Venom F5, 3D printing on the Stratasys Uprint, and going for a spin in the Marine's new self-driving Jeep.
Yeah! Yeah! Newswire! Let's get pumped on this.
It always takes me a second. It's like, how do we start it? Once we start it, it just rolls.
The Marines are about to have their very own self-driving Jeep. The Ground Unmanned Support Surrogate Autonomous Internally Transportable Vehicle, or GUS AITV for short, is built on an M1161 Growler, a smaller vehicle than its predecessor, who was named just GUS. The new vehicle is small enough to be carried by the B-22 Osprey tilt-rotor aircraft and features rear-wheel steering and pneumatically controlled tire inflation and suspension controls. Using a commercial off-the-shelf sensor suite made up of an inertial navigation system, various cameras, and LiDAR, the Jeep could be used for resupply missions to lighten soldiers' loads and could even go into combat to retrieve the wounded. GUS AITV is also equipped with Waysight, a multifunctional handheld operator control unit that features a target mode for path planning, a follow me mode in which the Jeep follows autonomously behind the user, and a we mode which allows for teleoperation. The Jeep can also be driven manually at any time, and while GUS still has a few more things to work on, the Marine Corps expects the vehicle to be deployed within the next 5 years.
So 3D printing is this important thing that everybody has been raving about. Until now, most of the experience anybody has had with a 3D printer has been in a cheap desktop model or at a trade show, including all the staff with PD&D. That is, until Stratasys helped us get our hands on a Uprint. The gap between what has become known as desktop 3D printing and professional 3D printers is extremely wide. A major part of that gap is the ability to literally wash away support material with the WaveWash, since just prying away models from the build platform can sometimes be a chore. The Uprint totes an 8x6x6 print envelope and some impressively fine resolution. But what's more impressive is the plug-and-play ability of this professional machine, and the alliteration that I just managed to use. The intimidation bar is raised when a semi-driver pulls up to the office with several giant boxes and a 400-pound pallet. But the Uprint took little effort to get running, and the fact that you can access the machine from anywhere on the Office network is impressive. Self-calibrating and self-testing, this thing was printing parts almost as soon as we found a place to put it, which was a challenge in itself. Though this printer doesn't tote the color and material spectrum that its big brothers have in the Stratasys family, there is a robust difference separating the Uprint from its FDM next of kin. In fact, because we have a professional FDM in the house, we're hosting a 3D printing competition. If you want to see your concept printed on our Uprint and maybe even win a 3D printer yourself, send us your STL or CAD file at the link below.
An F5 Tornado has wind speeds between 261 to 318 miles per hour. Coming in from the east and down to the west, up there. I could be a weather lady too. I don't know how it actually works, okay. Which is why it's fitting that in their quest to reach 290 miles per hour, Hennessy has named the successor to the Venom GT, the Venom F5. I just think of Hennessy and like drinking. The next-gen twin-turbo powertrain is still a work in progress, so hard numbers for power are not yet available, but Hennessy reports that the output could exceed 1400 bhp. The car will be constructed out of carbon fiber and aluminum to keep its weight under 2,866 pounds and will introduce several new technologies. One of these being a single-clutch paddle shift transmission that will allow the vehicle to accelerate more quickly. It will also introduce a GPS-based traction control system. The turbo size for the longitudinally mounted V8 will also be increased, and the fuel system and intercooler capacity upgraded to handle the demands of the increased boost. The Venom F5 will be unveiled in 2015 with deliveries beginning in late 2016 to at least 30 lucky buyers. But be prepared to dig deep into those pockets, as the car will cost more than its predecessor, which currently sells for $1.2 million.
Do you have story ideas? Comment below and we'll cover them in an upcoming episode. For the PD&D channel, I'm Chris Fox and this has been your Engineering Newswire.
Just trying to work here.